Welcome back to the channel. Mookie Betts is one of the best hitters in baseball for a variety of reasons. He's also one of the toughest outs, which kind of goes without saying. I recently matched up with him in a spring training game. I'm going to take you through that at bat and show you some of the reasons why. Stick around. I call this crisscrossing the corner. You know, tunneling is a crazy concept. There's no way a big leaguer swings at that. If this ball's 1-7, he absolutely crushes it. Boom, that's the breaking point. All right, so going into the at-bat, I know a couple things about Mookie. One, I only know one thing about Mookie. He handles sliders a little bit better than he handles curveballs, at least my specific pitch types. So if I'm going to try to get him out, I'm generally going to try to go up and down with the curveball as opposed to left and right with the slider. The other thing that I kind of know about him is you have to brush him back inside, or at least make him aware of the fact that you might go in hard to make that off-speed more effective. If you don't, he just sits slow and he can hit the off-speed stuff. And this is just from facing him a couple times when he was with Boston. So these are the kind of things I have going in. Normally in a regular season game, I would have a scouting report, I would have recent information, I would have my pitch-specific type report on what he hits best or what he doesn't. But this is spring training. I'm not really worried about any of that because I don't really care if I get him out or not. I'm mostly trying to work on stuff that I'm trying to work on, which in this case is my curveball. I hadn't thrown any curveballs in this game yet, and I knew I needed to get it in because that's one of the things I need to practice in spring training, and the outing was running short. So that all being said, here we go. We got first pitch, and it's a curveball. I'll just play this through. So let's draw a strike zone up here on the... Oh, let's see. That's about right. So if we go back here, the strike zone is probably a little bit big, but you know what? Let's get an actual strike zone up here so we can see what we're talking about. That's probably a more realistic strike zone, and this curveball is going to miss up here. One thing that I want to track throughout this at bat is speed and location. So keep in mind where this curveball misses. I just kind of miss up with it, ball one. Actually, one thing you can look at in my delivery is when I finish this pitch, I kind of pause right here. I kind of paused on this leg. This right leg doesn't really finish around this way. I'm just kind of balanced on this left leg. My head, the whole entire time, is trying to look at where this ball is going, which generally means that I'm watching where the ball is going instead of just trusting that my eyes are I see the target and then try to throw the pitch and hit the target. So, all right, we're ball one here, going on to the next pitch. I get another curveball sign. Again, I'm trying to work on it, and I'm trying to just make a slight adjustment and get this ball in the zone. So if you look at my body here, one of the things I realized in throwing the first one is that I was trying to look at the intended location as opposed to seeing it early and then just throwing the pitch. So this time I get a little bit more aggressive, and if you look at my head through these couple frames, my head does pull off. It doesn't snap back up nearly as much as it did in the first one, but I did pull off this direction a little bit more than what I needed to, and so now I yank this curveball over to this side of the plate. So if we play this through, there's that curveball. Now we have, let's get our strike zone back up here. We got a curveball that missed here and a curveball that was at the right height, but it missed off the plate away. So now, one thing I want you to pay attention to is if we split the plate in half, we have two pitches that are on the outer half of the plate or away, and they're both slow. Okay, so now we're 2-0. I know I need to throw a strike here, so I choose to go to a pitch that I feel like I can throw for a strike. In this case, it's a fastball. Also in this case, understanding what Mookie's trying to do, at least in a regular season game, he's probably hunting a pitch that's in this general area that he can turn on and hit well. Also probably sitting on a fastball. 2-0 count, it makes sense for him to sit on that, a pitch that he hits best, which for the vast majority of big leaguers is a fastball, especially this kind of middle up fastball right there. So I choose to go with a fastball, but I throw the fastball away. All right. Now this pitch is probably off the plate. And if you watch Mookie's head here, he takes it. We get a strike call. Here we go. Here's Mookie's head. We get a little bit, little head tilt right there. Like, ooh, I don't know if that's, you can see that. I don't know. I don't know if that's a strike or not. Yeah, Mookie's probably right in this case. That ball is probably off the plate. That ball probably is about a ball width off the plate. But spring training, so I get the call, which is nice. But again, put our strike zone back up. We have pitch 1, pitch 2, pitch 3. And I want to look at Mookie's body language on this pitch. So he's looking, he's kind of diving. Look at his eyes. He's looking out here. Now, yes, the ball is in the air. The ball is traveling. But if you watch his shoulders are turned in this way. They're not opening up out this way. If you watch the way his body is drifting, let's draw this on the screen. So at the start of the delivery, we have a line here. This is where he starts off. All right, watch where his body goes. Okay, so the ball isn't in the air yet. So this is his typical load. All right, so he's now probably in this area. But watch where this drifts to. All right, he is drifting from the time I start my delivery. Now he's, his shoulders and stuff are kind of over here. So he's just drifting this way progressively more as the ball is in the air. Now, you would expect that on a fastball that's away, all right? But if this hitter is in a 2-0 count and he's looking to hit something that's in here, you're probably not going to see him diving towards a pitch that he expects to be in this location. So if I'm reading this right in the game, I know 1 soft, 2 soft, 3 hard, but it's away. I'm probably drawing his attention towards this area. So he's now moving in this direction. All right, I need to have that in mind because if I throw him something that might normally be effective out in this area per the scouting report, but I've already led him to this area, it's not going to be nearly as effective as it normally would be. Okay, so yeah, Mookie doesn't think it's a strike. Not really. We get the strike call. Great, we're 2-1. This pitch right here is an important thing to put in the books. So let me play that back again. This is a cutter. It's about 87 miles an hour. And if that looks like a mistake to you and a really hittable pitch, you're right. That is an absolute mistake. So we're trying to go in this area here with the cutter. All right? But we've already drawn his attention this way. So this is probably a mistake in the pitch type that I chose, especially after going hard out here and we didn't get a swing. Now we're going to go softer out there on a pitch that he's already kind of moving that way. He's tracking the movement of it, etc. So this is probably the wrong pitch type to throw here. What I should have thrown, most likely, is a fastball somewhere in this area, at least something on this side of the center line, but didn't do that. Again, spring training, I'm not necessarily trying to get him out. I'm trying to execute pitches, but if we step this thing through, yikes. This cutter is right here. All right, so now we have a curveball that starts up and ends here, a curveball that starts a little bit less up but ends over here. We have a fastball that starts somewhat flat and ends up over here. And then we have a cutter that starts a little bit less flat than the curveballs and ends up there. So we're drawing his attention, his eyes, to look for a pitch that's starting kind of up in this area and ending up about at this height. All right? Now the next thing to look at on this pitch is his body. Is he out in front of this pitch? I mean, that front foot, look, this is where to look. Nothing happens till the front foot hits. Front foot's down right there. And then we watch the knee immediately start to push back and extend. So this swing is 100% on time. So if I'm reading this correct, he's at a speed that's about 87 miles an hour. He gets almost fully extended, He draws his arms in a little bit here, okay? You can see the elbows draw in a little bit. They don't get fully extended. So he probably recognizes this somewhere mid-flight as an off-speed pitch that's hanging, and he's probably a little bit delayed in his decision-making to try to hit this pitch, so he's drawing his hands in to get the barrel to it. Does not mean that he's not going to do damage if he hits this pitch. It just means that he's not necessarily fully on the exact pitch type, timing-wise or movement-wise. But this is still a really dangerous pitch. I got away with this one because he's dead on time. Like I said, if you watch the foot down here, foot lands, knee starts to straighten, hips are going, torso's going, boom. Pretty well balanced, okay? When he finishes this swing, he's coming through. He gets off a pretty good swing here, all right? He's not falling one way. The torso isn't leaning this way. His body isn't going this way super, like a lot. He's not bailing out this way. He's pretty well lined up here. All right, now he's off balance just a tick as he kind of falls across the plate a little bit, but he gets off a pretty good swing here. So anyway, moving on now, we get lucky with this one right here. We got ball one here, ball two there, slow. Strike one over here that was probably a ball, again drawing his attention out there, and then we get away with this pitch in the middle. All right, so now we're 2-2. This ball actually, this ball is a foul pop-up, but it was in play, or in the field of play, and first baseman made an attempt at it, hit off his glove. It was a really tough play, going backwards over his shoulder, trying to navigate the fence and the fans and all that stuff. Didn't end up making the catch. So now we get back into the next pitch. So again, if we didn't know, I'm just going to play this through. I'll put a strike zone up there for you guys to see. If we didn't know anything about how we got to this position in the at-bat, and we just looked at this pitch type in isolation, you might say that this pitch is a good pitch. All right, let's play that back. Watch it through one more time. This is a slider. All right. This slider ends up, if our strike zone is correct, pretty much there. Right? If you just look at that pitch in isolation, you would say, well, that's a slider down and away on the corner. That's a really good pitch. This actually ends up being a double. He's a little bit out in front of it, but he stays on it. He hits a double. So you might say to yourself, well, why did that pitch get hit? It's a good pitch. The scouting report says he doesn't handle sliders down there. I executed the pitch. It's an outlier pitch. It has a lot of lateral movement, more so than almost any other slider in the game. But this is the importance. This is what I really want to draw the attention to is it's important to know how you got to this pitch because that affects whether the pitch is a good pitch or not a good pitch. They all have to be in the right sequence, all right? So let's clear this off here. Let's just scroll through this. This is a little bit different swing than we saw in the one before. Look at this. The hip goes out a little bit. There's a little bit of bow in this torso. All right, why is this? Well, this is really what makes Mookie a really good hitter. All right, he's buying himself time. He's out in front of this. For sure, you can see this. He's kind of reaching for the ball. You can see here he makes contact with it in this frame right here. But afterwards, the body's going to continue to go this way. Look at that. So he's reaching to get to this pitch, and he hits it right off the end of the bat. All right, but why can he hit this pitch and most people can't hit this pitch? This is a swing and miss for the vast majority of hitters, especially in this count, 2-2. I want you to look at, again, the foot. We're down right here. Remember, the knee started to straighten immediately after on the cutter, the previous pitch. But watch what the knee does right here. Foot gets down, the knee bends, it stays bent, now it starts to straighten. All right? When this knee stays bent, he's kind of sinking into his legs here. Look at this. He sinks down and gets a little bit lower. You can see this belt line is going this way over these couple frames. Sinks, gets lower. All right? Now, this knee, when it goes, let's get here. Heels down, knee goes this way. Whoops. Knee goes this way. He's buying himself time. Yes, the hip is opening. He has to open the hip at this point in the swing to buy himself enough time. He's on track to swing. Now he knows he's early. So that's the lower half is going to go this way. But look at the upper half. Look at the spine. Look at this right here. Head, spine, hips. Look how straight that is. Look how closed the shoulders still are here. His shoulder isn't going this way yet. His torso as a whole isn't rotating this way yet. He's staying locked in. So he buys himself a little bit of time by sinking into his lower half, delays until the pitch is there. Now the knee starts to go. Now the knee starts to straighten. Bam. Look at the hips rotate here. Buys himself some time, buys himself some time. Bam. Look, hips go right there. Look at the torso the entire time. Look how stacked the torso is. It's not until after he makes contact that this torso begins to bow or lose integrity. This is what makes Mookie really special. You got complete postural integrity while he's buying himself time on the lower half, and then at the time that he chooses to swing, the hips still snap, he's still in sequence, and he can get the barrel to a pitch that's a good pitch in isolation. So that's the swing mechanics of what makes Mookie really good. Again, eyes are directly down here, head's not going out this way early, torso doesn't fly open early. If any of these things go early, he's done. He swings and misses at this. He runs out of barrel, can't get over there to it, has to reach, it looks foolish, whatever. But he doesn't do that. He's able to stay in a good hitting position. The other thing to keep in mind here is, where did this pitch start? If you look at this trajectory, this pitch starts off up this way, and then it breaks down here. But remember, the first pitch started off up here. The second pitch started off up here. Third pitch was flat and out here, so disregard that. Fourth pitch started off up here, and these all ended up kind of up in the zone in this area. All right? This pitch starts off as if it's going to be here, and every pitch that started off up in this at bat has ended up being soft, 1, and away over here, 2. So his eyes and his attention are drawn over this way. His eyes are drawn to starting in this location. His swing is drawn to something ending up over here. He thinks, correctly so in this at bat, that I'm trying to get him out over here. All right, so again, watch the body language here. He's here. Look at him dive. He's trained. He's going this way. The body's going this way as the ball's in flight. Look at that. He's diving out over there. Look how much ground he's gaining towards the plate. That little bit, look, this ball, here's the end of the bat. Here's the ball. This ball is very nearly off the end of the bat. He didn't hit it well. It was a fly ball that just landed down the line, but it's still a double because I drew his attention the entire bat away and soft, over here and soft. If I throw any pitch in this at bat hard in this area, this slider that ends up over here is probably a swing and miss because he can't gain this ground. If you watch his body going this way, he can't gain this ground if he thinks for a second that I might go hard up in here. Look, that ball's right on his hands. If this is a fastball, and so I'll draw a little diagram here. My slider tends to move that way. Right? It starts off somewhat straight, and then it bites, and it moves a lot to the left. My fastball tends to start off straight and run a little bit back this way. All right, so if this pitch, this slider that ends up in this location, probably started off on this line. That's how much the slider moves. It moves about 17 inches or a full plate. So if this pitch starts off here, but it happens to be a fastball that runs about 8 inches, this ball ends up here. Now look at where that is. That's on his elbow, on his hands, etc. So the only reason he's able to get to this pitch, not the only reason, one of the reasons is his swing mechanics are really, really good. But the other reason is I drew his attention out here, and I drew his attention to slow speeds. I never once busted him here to make him stay honest and think that I might try to get him out in here. So he's able to drift this way the entire at bat and look this way and track the ball moving this way the entire at bat. So if I was trying to actually get him out, this is a lesson I have to learn. I have to go in here hard sometime to force him to respect that I might go in here. Otherwise, you end up with exactly what happens here. I throw a really good pitch in the wrong sequence. He takes a really good hitter's swing at it, and it's a double. That's very costly in a regular season game. Now in spring training, like I said, was trying to work on the curveball, got behind, was trying to work on executing pitches, but these are some of the things that you can learn from certain moments like this and watching hitters, how their swings break down. And this is, like I said, one of the best hitters in the game. So he's able to do some of the things that other hitters in the league aren't. But if I'm going to be the best and I'm going to get out the best, I got to be able to recognize these things, these small little things in the moment, and be able to adjust off of them. So that's today's episode. Hopefully you found some value in it. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a like. If you haven't already subscribed, or if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I can't speak today. I'm a little bit sick. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what at bat you want me to analyze. If you want me to add anything into these analyses that would make it beneficial for you, more enjoyable, more educational. If a fan out there or if a friend of yours is out there that might find value in this channel or some education to this or is just missing baseball and wants some of this content, please let them know it's here. Let them know my channel exists. It would really help me out on my goal to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. And yeah, that's all for today. Let's hope baseball's back soon so we can get more of these out to you. But in the meantime, every Wednesday, Breaking Point right here on the channel. Hope you have a good day. See you later.